Hey, Chuck Fasst here. It's been a while since I've posted anything on YouTube, but I've got myself into this DIY project here, but it's a little different. It's not cars. It's this trailer that I live in. It's a 2019 model, and the refrigerator has already given up. And I'll have some words to say about that. But I didn't see much on YouTube, but eventually I did, but all the same, I'm going to post this. I don't know what I'm doing. So here's the back of the refrigerator. The cooling unit has evidently gone bad. I got that ammonia smell while I was trying to troubleshoot it. So anyway, so I'm going to be going after this. And here's the new unit has arrived. I talked to the fellows there. I'll tell you who they are later. Notice it says ammonia solution. They did some reinforcing on this, he said, and we're going to see when we get this thing opened up. So I believe this is the RM2652. Some come with fan, without fan. I've already, if we take a look at this here, we see these two fuses lined up like that. But that's this control unit here. Now I've taken the screw out. We look in here, the two fuses are side by side right there. If you go over here and look at the manual, we see some fuses side by side right there, but not the same part number. So we have to go over here and look at these, and they show the fuses, one here and one off to the side. So whatever they're doing. I guess this fridge has been around since God knows 20 years or something. A little surprised to learn that on a nice new trailer. Plus have this thing break down on me already. So we get these things out of the way. We took these screws out. We got a couple covers there. And we're gonna get after this. I'm gonna take a couple real nice pictures to show where everything goes and start taking things off. And then we will refer to the good old YouTube video and make sure we've got everything. So I went ahead and unhooked the 12 volt right here. Just get the small flathead screw in there and pull these guys out. So that unhooks the battery. And the 120 volt was this right here. It was plugged in right down in here. It's hard to get at. So I just got in there with my pliers and carefully got it unplugged from there. So now our power is unhooked. There's a screw right here that wasn't too tough to get out. Take it out right there and drop it. I'll set it right here for now. And so I grabbed my pliers and unhooked this reset switch here. This thing's kind of in the way. We're gonna have to get this cover off, I remember that much. And this thing has to come out. So we're gonna grab the screwdriver and work this thing out of there. Take this cover off and unhook this stuff. And that's enough. Watch this video all the way through before you jump into this thing. You don't want to make the same mistakes I did, or you want to get past some of the situations I ran into. I hope you have a lot of tools, including power tools. Unhook some of these wires over here. So I got a few screws already out. So we'll get after this. Yeah, so I just had to kind of work it to the side a little bit. And there we go. It's out of there now. Set that aside. So we see this here will have to come out. So we'll have to get in there with a screwdriver, Phillips head, get that one out. Well, it's in there kind of tight. All right, let me turn this off and struggle with that screw. Well, something flew down when I pulled that out. I grabbed this stink bug out of there. I mean, God, it's October. What's up with these things? God, I don't want those things getting in. They were in earlier this summer, and they were, hell, they're getting them out of my trailer. So Anyway, so I got this out. It was it came out very easily. Let's get it off to the side. Something pinged and went down from right in here. Guess we'll have to figure out what that was. So now we're going to move on to a few other things. Well, I guess we'll do some more wiring over here, and then there's a couple screws we'll have to tackle. Okay, I see a screw down in here that I'm thinking that maybe right down in there, if I can get the screwdriver on that, I might be able to get this whole circuit board loose. Then I can determine which wires have to come off. I know these two here do. So I'll see if I can get that out and see what I have. So I can smell the ammonia in here. I'm going to go ahead and take these two off here because I know I have to get this guy unhooked. So it'll get this on. Looks like we got something plugged in here. Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, so I don't see any yellow residue so far, but I can smell it. And the fella said that these newer ones, this is the evap coils that are up above. If we can see them from here, you will. They get pinholes, and that's what fucks them up. Sorry for my language, but I'm pretty pissed about this. There's no reason for a 3-4-year-old unit to fail, except for it came out of China. All right, I've simply squeezed these clips, pulled this one out, pulled that one out, pulled this one out down here. So I'm going to have to get this one next. So we'll get a socket for that. And I see a screw right down. I'm going to get my screwdriver on it. Can we see it here? It's right in there. Get that out of the way. We get the screwdriver right on that screw and try to get it out of there. And I think we'll try to get it out. I think we might be able to get this unattached from the back of the fridge. So we'll try that. Sure enough, I'm getting this loose. Okay, I have to say about this design of screwdrivers here. I mean, it's that pinging I'm hearing is these goddamn tips falling and they're going down in there. Who the hell designed this ridiculous setup? Always losing these things. Okay, so this appears to be loose. There's a screw back there. I can see it now. Well, I'm sure we have to get that one out. And so, yeah, we'll just, I think we're getting closer here. I hope I don't have to unhook any of this stuff. We'll get over here and do some work. So I was able to get this screw out here, and we will search for one on the other side over here. And I got this off. I screwed it back down on the post. So that ground strap is off. These are free, and we will end up feeding them wherever they got to go. So, and then we have this situation here. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but we will see what's up. All right, let's tackle this side. So over here, I found a bracket here that looked like it needed to come off. So we've got a couple screws here that we pulled out there easily enough. Then over here, we have two more of the variety. You know, I mean, I used a Phillips to get in there. This one up here in the corner was tough. I took a big screwdriver, pried it over to get it out of the way so I could get at the screw, and then got in there with my screwdriver. Just barely got it out. To be quite honest, I'm not seeing anything else here. So maybe we'll just go ahead on and get on in here and get to work. I haven't broke out the power tools yet, but we can see what has to come out there, and then there's going to be some down in here, and there's some in the corners here. I think I'll have to break out something here and get us some screws, probably down there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with these guys then. We'll get them all out of there and go from there. All right, they tricked us. They had these little square head screws here. So I had to get the proper socket here and get after them. In all four corners, right up here. We're here, over here, and down there, down there. So I've taken those four out. The rest of them are up in here. We got the 4 screws out of here. One of them was stripped. We had to get in there. I had to use this little guy, this little hook machine, and get it up in there and help me to pull the, get under the screw head and help me to get the screw out. So we've done that. So I don't know, maybe this thing is loose. So I'm trying to leave the doors on this unit. I pulled this out. It was sandwiched in right there. So I don't see anything else. I'm assuming that all these screws that hold the hinges on are simply going into the fridge. And that's all there is. What do we see up there? Anything special? Same thing. So it seems like it's free. I just can't get this side to move. That side does. We're going to get back out there and we're going to give it another shove. Oh, what did we do here? Oops. All right. So we just we put a screwdriver right in there and just pulled that right off. So it's, well, there it is for now. I guess we could just put it back up there, right? Isn't that how this kind of deal works? We just put it right back up in there, which we will do. So I've been having troubles getting things apart right here. I need to get, this needs to stay. I've not unconnected the LP here. I want to leave it in. I've just found a screw right back in here. And I'm hoping that that one right there will release this mechanism. So we're going to find out. So I drop out 2 more screws from this clamp. So there's that, and now that releases this back here. So there's 5 screws laying down in there. So now we have this. So what next? So we have a ground wire hook to this one. We'll let it dangle, get this out of there, and then this is down in here, comes out. Not sure how that was mounted in there. All right, so we'll get these things out of the way. And I'll be damned, when I look in here, down in here, I see a couple tabs. There's a screw hole. This thing's locked. This bracket appears to be locked in. So the way I see it, there's no way I'm going to get by without having to unhook that. Others manage to do it, but I just don't see how I can. All right, I got a 3/4 inch wrench on this gas line here. We're going to see what happens here. I've got the LP turned off. Boy, it doesn't come off easily. Let's try this again. Ah, okay. Well, I cracked it loose. Interestingly enough, there's nothing coming out of it. Well, maybe we'll just go ahead and speed this up. Maybe, or else we can stand here and bitch about planned obsolescence. Everybody knows about that, huh? The cheapening of America by the corporations, big business, and all the others. I don't know why stop there. Big pharma, big war, big tech, all of them cheapening us out as we go. Sadly, most people cannot see that. But this right here is an example. 3 or 4 years later, going through this hellacious job and spending all this money. There we go. Well, it looks like I knocked the camera down. Can do it. There it is. Let's shine the light up in here and take a look real quick. See what we see up here in the cavity. Much to see there. We're gonna start pushing this out. The next challenge is gonna be, how am I gonna get this out of here all by myself? That without a catastrophe taking place. Alrighty then, well, here's my solution. Cooler with all my stuff in it too. My couple of race car tie down straps here on this thing. There's the fridge. So we're gonna get after it. Well, this is about the time I dance a jig, but I told myself I'm trying to quit. All right, so I grabbed a hold of the carpet and turned this thing around. There we are. Take a look at it. Looks pretty damn new, doesn't it? Other than a bit of dust. I mean, yeah. And here we are replacing this whole thing. So, there's our new unit. Doesn't look much different than the one that's coming out, but you know, it's clean down here. I'm told there's a more reinforced piping put in here to help prevent what happened. So I hope that's a good deal. I expected to have instructions and some other, like some sealant, a tube of sealant or something, I thought would come with this, but there was nothing else in the box. So we're just going to tackle this and see where we end up. Well, I cleaned things up a bit. Looking pretty nice, huh? Here's one thing right here. The paint burned off. This thing was running hot when I was trying to use the LP to make the fridge run. Real hot. It was cold on these, so that was a dead giveaway. So I see a couple screws up on the top corners here. I've got this down here. Actually, I see if I can maybe bend that tab and maybe I bend this tab and slide this out somehow. That. It looks like it's right in here. So we'll get that thing out of there. Gonna yank this element out of here. Push that. Get that dry out. Hey, looks like a fishing lure. I'm just gonna stick that out the window for now. All right. Get this lid. If I can, yeah, I'll just pull that tab. Get the lid off of there. There. There's a bunch more burnt garbage down in there. We're gonna take this shield off. See if I can get my fingers on that one. Well, it's kind of like you squeeze this a little bit and you get these tabs, and I'm gonna take this out and make another big mess. Alrighty then, this falls out of here. So, guess we peel this thing off and make a big mess. Well, it stinks in here, man. You smell the ammonia. So, I'm gonna work out how to, here we go. So, take this shield out. The insulation, I guess, will stay right there for now, it looks like. Or no, it comes with the shield. Okay, we're gonna pull it out of here. All right, so we got that down there. There's more of that yellow shit. Oh, God. Yeah, that's what it looks like inside this stinky thing. So I'm gonna set this thing outside. And so then this falls off, and it looks to me like I might have been able to, let's look here, yeah, see, I might have been able to leave the gas connected here, because it does slide off there like this way. So I could have left the gas connected, but I guess it was no big deal. Okay, so I see these screws up there, one on each side. And so I'll take those off. I'm gonna have to get up here and get some snips in here and get these guys loose, and we'll get that pulled clear. And I guess this wiring, I'll probably end up taking it off and probably just putting it back in after I slide the unit back into the cubby hole here, and then put all this stuff back in. That's what I'm thinking. Okay folks, as I said this before in my DIY videos, don't do what I do. I was down there on my knees working on this, got the 2 screws out of the top. All of a sudden, down everything comes right on top of me. The refrigerator starts going forward. It's going to fly that way because the weight came off the back. So I'm trying to hang on to this and grab the fridge at the same time. And this wire grabs it right there. So that fitting got hooked right in the crook there. And so this wire's holding it right there. So it kind of bent out of shape here. I was looking at this, trying to figure out how things were hooked together here. But I'm going to try to so right here, you can see it's kind of bent out. So I'm going to try to slide this out, which I assume it's going to do. And this stuff's going to be free. So here we go. Let us take a look at the units side by side. Pretty much the same unit. So looks to be like I'm ready to bolt on this one. And looks like they ship it with these boards in between, maybe to keep them from getting tweaked. So I'll get those off. Try to slide it in there, get these 2 screws on. I found a lot of interesting things on this 2019 Shadow trailer. A lot of cheap shit. I'm not happy about all kinds of things that have gone on. Not to mention a goddamn leak coming out the roof. Right onto my bed. All right, if there's going to be a disaster, now's going to be the time for it. I'll try to see. This is not the lightest thing, but let's see if I can get it on up here. Oh, man. So to keep the idea is to keep the damn refrigerator upright, right? I wasn't too bad on my alignment here when I went to get that in. There. I think I might have it. I might have this. God damn, this thing doesn't seem to be very straight to me. It's way off on the top, but it's on the bottom. How are we looking here? Not good. I don't like the alignment here. I've got to pull this over 1/2 inch at the top to get this to line up here. Let's try if we can get it over. It's trying to go. How can I get it? Fuck. It's always something, you know. There's always something. Well, I wonder if we can get the other side going. If I can at least get this held up, I can work on that one. All right. Let's see what we can do here. welded this up with a crooked bar, bigger than shit. You know? There's your quality control right there. You needed a wider goddamn stick between here. What am I gonna do? Turn the camera off. Look what we have going on here. I ran this strap around the fridge. See if we can pull that up there. I bent it out a little bit so it would come around the edge. Starting to get awful goddamn tight now. All right, let's keep working on this. All righty, here we go. We got her mounted up there. We got this back on and all clipped in place. Got these guys bent over, and we got the screw in down here with all these shields in place. Had to drill another hole right there for that screw. So, because there was no hole in this framework. So we did that. Got our wires hung up here. We're getting ready to slide it back in now. Slide it back into its cubby hole. So we're going to attempt that. I think I could probably pull this off without any kind of a disaster. God damn it. I've tried everything. Beginning pounding on this. Had to go to the dentist, got a root pulled out, and now I'm doing this. So managed to get it out about a quarter, it looks like. Then it just grinds to a halt again. Let's try this. See if I can pound it the fuck out. Come on, come on. God damn it. God damn it. Nothing works. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. This is, you know, work so hard. You go so far and get stopped dead. Stop dead in your tracks. On fire off. Now I'm trying a fucking torch. It is not fucking coming out of there. Yes, I'm using a 4-letter word. I don't give a damn what you haters think. This is the time for those kind of words. It's just flat not coming out. I've probably cut through it now. Went ahead and checked the ohms. And yeah, I fucking ruined it. Yet again, another impossible job that cannot be done. So I want to get this circuit board mounted on here, but I don't see any drill holes down there on that framework. I don't know if they're painted over. I don't know what the hell. I'm going to try to poke a hole through here. Try to get one I can get that screw started into and get this thing mounted on there. I feel like it should be mounted on there. Well, the Ravens are back. I'm glad to see the chipmunk is still around after they so unceremoniously chopped down all the berry bushes that were there. But look, new growth springs forth. So now that's his rock to eat his piece of bread. Well now, there's supposed to be a fucking bracket right there that comes straight up right there to mount that to. It's this fucking bracket right there. Don't have it on that one. So here we go again. I'm having the drill holes and everything now, have a bracket welded on here that I need to get my burner assembly put together. Doesn't that beat all, huh? Okay. Next we go after. Get that little fucker off of there. So I just cut through the welds, but there's no way I'm going to weld it on the new part, which is right here. You can't even see the, it's way down there. Can't even see the framework down there. How am I going to weld this? So I just cut it off. I don't know. I'm going to stick it back in here, start bolting shit together, and see what I end up with. It is way past dark 30 now, and I've been fucking with this thing till hell won't have it. Getting that burner together, I swear to God, it's almost impossible. I can't, God, what the fucking God. Rain is just pouring down. Just dropped my canopy. I can't get this fucking back in here. It plugs right in down in here, stupid ass way. You can't get at it. And now evidently this board is pushed closer to the edge. Here I can't fit it down through that slot. And before I can get it down in there, I'm going to try to put it in with pliers into the plug-in. This is fucked up, man. There's so much fucked up shit here. I just can't believe it. Can't get my hand down in there. It's impossible to plug in that son of a bitch. I'm going to try to hook it up with my hook and try again to get it plugged in back in here. Well, I dropped this in the hole up in there, my new heater unit, and tried to put the fucking cover on here. It wouldn't go on because it was hitting up against this tube, so I lifted it up and it was hot, and now it's fused all this shit onto it and I can't get it back down in there. So we'll wait for this fucker to cool down and forget about. So stupid. This is so fucking damn stupid. So that bracket is just stuffed back in there, jammed in there. It's pretty tight up against this tube here. The screw, if I wanted to hold this, if I wanted to put a screw through this and hold it down, it's not long enough. So don't ask me. All I can say is don't do what I do. Check everything, brackets, screw holes on these things. So how many times did I curse in this goddamn video? Yep, count that one too. I pulled one of these wires loose off this heater element so that I could cool it down and clean it up and stick it back in there. See, I stick it in there where it's in behind like this. See, don't have it facing out this way because that cover runs into it when you're trying to reinstall that. So don't make that mistake either. Blown another fuse. 2 fuses I've blown inside the trailer trying to do this job. Evidently when I pulled that, I blew the fuse. So there it sits right now. It's on auto on the inside, and we're going to see what the hell happens here the next few hours. All right, it's been a couple of hours. Let's take a look in here. 56.3. Well, I tell you what, it's gone down about 7 or 8 degrees. It takes a long time for these things to get cold, I guess. So we'll see. All right, here we go again. All right, this time we're just taking loose what we feel. We got both those out of there. What needs to come loose only. All right, this one. All right, we'll have to get that one loose. Undo that. Trying to grab it with my fingers, it's not working. We'll take this stuff loose. This time we leave all of this intact. Okay, we can leave that plugged in. We're gonna pull this heating element out, I think, And so we have unclubbed shore power. So I've left this plugged in down in here. I've left the 12 volt plugged in right here. I'm going to leave it right there. All right, I have removed these 4 screws, the 2 of the clamp, the 2 that hold on in there. Make this thing loose, and I've pried this boiler up a little bit to get me a little bit of gap in there. I'm going to try to get this out of there and slide that back. If I could just raise it up a little bit and slide it back, I think I can get it. Yeah, I feel it. They're gonna come off of there. Can we get it slid off of there? It's not coming off very easy. God, I finally just ended up undoing the damn propane so I could get in here, get the right angle on this and slip it out of there. So let's get this fucking thing, let's get this thing moving now. Shove it a foot forward, get inside, get this fucker out of here. Well, this has sure slowed me down. I left the fridge on until I pushed it out of there. The whole thing was covered in ice, so I'm trying to get all this ice off of here so I can put that shit on it. Now, why in the hell can't the new part come like this one? I peeled some of this off. This has all been done and it's covered over with this paper. Why couldn't the part come like that so we could just put it in? Trying to get this goddamn shit to come out of here. I can't get it to come out. Can't do anything right. I couldn't get anything to come out the front. Finally did, but now it's all fucked up. It's nowhere near. I don't even know what to say. I'm fucking speechless. What a god awful mess I made with this. God damn. So, I still don't have enough to finish down there. So here's the box it came in. So I opened it from the top here, figuring if I have to reuse this box, that'd be the best way. And pulled it out. And as it turns out, this was down in the bottom, and it was stapled in down there in the bottom, and the writing was facing that way, which I could not see the writing. And when I looked down through the top, I saw nothing down in there. I was expecting to find something, instructions or some of this stuff, this mastic, and but I saw nothing. So I assumed, well, we don't need that anymore. But you know, I can see that maybe a fella could have opened it up from the side like that, but I didn't. And my old eyes didn't see this box down in there, and it was stapled down on the bottom. So I had to rip open the bottom of the box so that I could get this box out of there and get that mastic out. So he says he's going to come up with a better way of packaging this stuff. So that's how that worked out. Now I need to have a UPS truck driver come to get this because the warranty depends upon me sending this back. And I have to try to secure both ends of this box the best I can so this big huge thing doesn't come flying out during transport. Well, here we are many days later. It took days and days for the temp to come down. What's that say? 38 right now. It runs around 37, 38 inside the fridge here now. Up on the freezer, it's gotten down to 19. I had to unhook that thermistor. You can see it all the way up to the top. I had to unhook it outside. It's not hooked up. So this thing's running full bore. So it's coming up on winter time now. I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. Alrighty then. A few comments as we wrap this project up. No need to look at my ugly mug. So let me show you perhaps something that hopefully won't distract you too much. Okay. Here is the thermistor wire here that was unplugged right there. I've plugged that back in and rechecked my temps, and it's all good. I've shown it to you. Okay, 37.4. I just checked the freezer. It was at 17.4. Here in the burner assembly, I feel it right now. It feels warm. Let's feel this too. And this feels warm. That's what you want. So, some of the insulation, asbestos in here, was crystallized from the heat, but not much. So I put it back together like this. But I've seen tips where you can add, and if I lived in a house, I'd go up in the attic and just grab a handful and stuff it in there. But I don't have any additional insulation. Another thing, I've seen where a guy put spray foam around the foam part when he installed this unit to the back of the fridge. I put some Popular spray can sealer around it before I put it in, but it was very thin. So his was foam that built up. So I'm just passing along these tips for your tribal knowledge. I'm certainly not getting much out of this through monetization due to the way that the YouTube algorithm is these days. So it's not for that. If you have comments on these tips, please place them below. And good luck, guys. Chuck Fasst out.